The Ukrainian army's unmanned naval vehicle, which was never introduced and was hidden, is in Crimea. The unmanned naval vehicle, which was introduced with the attack that started the first time, managed to destroy Russian gas platforms as explosions occurred one after another around Crimea. The Ukrainian army launched an attack with unmanned naval vehicles, while it was observed that the platforms in the region was engulfed in flames. A very important part of the Russian army for Naval intelligence was destroyed. On the other hand, Ukrainian President Zelensky officially confirmed that North Korean soldiers were officially neutralized as a result of successful operations on the front line. In the process, the Vitom unit of Ukraine's 3rd Assault Brigade managed to destroy a North Korean military vehicle providing support to Russian forces. The situation is particularly critical on the Kov and KK lines. Meanwhile, Zelensky announced that a new batch of F-16 fighter jets from Denmark has arrived in Ukraine. Judging by the recent attacks organized by Ukrainian forces, F-16 fighter jets can be used in many different operations. If you're ready, let's move on to our video without wasting any more time. It first became clear that Ukraine had begun an operation in Crimea when explosions were heard and a gas platform exploded. The Russian military had a large number of gas platforms in Crimea, but with the outbreak of the Russian-Ukrainian war, the Russian military began to lose both part of the Black Sea Fleet and gas platforms, one after another. As you may recall, in the initial period of the war, the Russian military was launching a large number of missile strikes from warships in the Black Sea. At the time, Moscow considered it impossible for these warships to be attacked. However, Ukrainian forces shocked the world with a massive attack with the domestically produced Neptune missile. The successful attack sank the Russian flagship. With this, we can say that the perception that these Russian ships could not be sunk was broken. Kiev started to focus on the use and production of missiles and unmanned naval vehicles against the Black Sea Fleet. As a result of the subsequent attacks, the Black Sea Fleet continued to suffer huge losses. Therefore, Moscow withdrew the Black Sea Fleet from Crimea. However, Ukrainian forces began targeting Russian gas platforms and refineries. According to the report published by the Ukrainian Navy targeted a Russian military gas platform near the Crimean coastline with unmanned naval vehicles. In the process, the unmanned naval vehicles managed to destroy both the gas platform and one Russian observation tower in the area. The gas platform will directly affect Russian naval vessels. We have seen similar operations many times, but the destruction of the observation tower will greatly reduce the intelligence capability of the Russian army. The unmanned naval vessels could not be destroyed despite being detected. If such observation towers are unable to detect unmanned naval vessels, the number of attacks will both increase and much larger attacks will be organized. The Russian military uses these observation towers directly for intelligence and reconnaissance purposes. Destroying the observation towers would jeopardize the Black Sea Fleet and every Russian presence in the region. While investigations continue in Crimea, we will turn our eyes to the Kov and KK lines. Ukrainian forces conducted a successful operation in the vicinity of Kov, destroying North Korean equipment for the first time. A North Korean military vehicle was neutralized. The Vitom unit of the Ukrainian Army's Assault Brigade mobilized for a coordinated operation organized by operators in Kov. A six-wheeler was targeted by operators with North Korean intent. With the success of the first attack, 2 drones also went on the attack. The second drone launched another attack and succeeded in detonating North Korean anti-tank missiles. It is known that there are many North Korean soldiers, especially in the KK region. There are many intelligence reports that the Russian army continues to gather troops on the KK line. Some media outlets and open intelligence sources say that there are North Korean soldiers wearing Russian uniforms and that Moscow has deployed a total of 0 Russian and North Korean troops on the KK line. North Korean troops are supporting Russian forces behind the front line and are deployed on strategically more important front lines. I guess, as many experts say, the training of North Korean troops is quite inadequate. Nevertheless, with the official statements of Ukrainian President Zelensky, it was officially announced that the North Korean troops were neutralized on the Kirk line. Zelensky confirmed that North Korean troops were neutralized in early December. Zelensky said that approximately 200 North Korean soldiers were deployed to the KK region on the border with Ukraine. In this process, it is known that 1 North Korean general and senior officers were neutralized, and North Korean equipment is being destroyed one after another. Before the president of Ukraine made the official statement, we had seen these operations in the videos published. We can say that North Korea has officially entered the war because North Korean soldiers are actively serving on the front line. As I mentioned, North Korea is openly supporting Russia. But with the report published today, news came from Denmark that made Kiev happy. President Zelensky announced that the new F-16s sent by Denmark have arrived in Ukraine. Zelensky said that the first batch of Danish F-16 fighter jets has started intercepting Russian missiles and are actively blocking attacks. Now, our air defense has become much stronger. So far, I've not seen any official reports of direct use of F-16 fighter jets on the front line. I think that the Ukrainian Air Force is using F-16 fighter jets for defensive purposes. But if we remember the recent missile strikes carried out by Ukrainian forces, this may change. At the moment, it is almost impossible to use these fighter jets directly on the front line. It is also impossible to use Russian warplanes directly on the front line because there are many air defense systems to protect the front line from missiles, especially the air defense systems deployed in the region to prevent missiles from directly targeting non-new generation fighter jets. Therefore, fighter jets are used for different purposes. But the second situation is that it seems possible for fighter jets to launch attacks depending on the missiles on them. If fighter jets can attack without entering enemy radar, the conditions will change, but this is very difficult. And with this type of fighter aircraft, such attacks can be carried out easily by bombers or new generation fighter jets. Finally, I must say that no matter what happens, the fighter jets sent by Denmark will play a very big role in stopping the attacks on Ukraine. As we approach the end of another video, I would like to give you a short reminder and end this video. Our team works tirelessly for more than 12 hours every day to bring you the best news. If you would like to show your appreciation, please click on the Super Thank You button. Your donations allow us to expand our reach and improve the quality of our news. You can also support us by liking the video and leaving a comment. I wish you all a good day and see you soon. From the ongoing conflict and the various operations discussed, we can derive several key lessons and insights that are important for both military strategies and the broader global perspective. First and foremost, the use of advanced technologies such as unmanned naval vehicles and precision-guided missiles has fundamentally altered modern warfare. The ability of Ukrainian forces to deploy these technologies effectively highlights the increasing role of unmanned systems in military operations. This shift in warfare strategies shows how technology is not only transforming the battlefield, but also changing traditional power dynamics, where smaller and more agile forces can challenge larger, heavily fortified ones. Another lesson that stands out is the critical role of intelligence and reconnaissance. The destruction of Russian observation towers by Ukrainian forces demonstrates how weakening an opponent's ability to gather intelligence can significantly impact their operational effectiveness. Intelligence, after all, is the lifeblood of any military campaign. And if you can deny your enemy the ability to predict your moves, you gain a significant advantage. This is something that many militaries across the globe will undoubtedly take note of, as it underscores the value of both cyber capabilities and physical assets in shaping the course of a conflict. Additionally, the involvement of North Korean forces in supporting Russian operations introduces a disturbing aspect of global geopolitics. The alliance between two countries with controversial political histories signals the complexities of international relations in conflict zones. It also brings attention to the reality that, in war, moral and ethical considerations often become blurred, and decisions are made based on strategic necessity rather than idealism. While North Korea's involvement may raise moral questions, it also serves as a reminder that alliances in wartime can take many forms, and sometimes the motivations are driven by survival rather than shared values or principles. On a more personal level, this ongoing conflict highlights the devastating consequences of war for ordinary people. While geopolitical maneuvering and military tactics may dominate the headlines, the real tragedy lies in the human cost, the lives lost, families torn apart, and communities destroyed. It is essential for viewers, especially those who may be far removed from the conflict, to remember that these are not just headlines, but real human experiences. The broader lesson, therefore, is that in any war, it is not just the strategies and tactics that matter, but the human impact of those decisions. Each missile, each attack, and each operation carries with it a profound cost that extends far beyond the battlefield. In my opinion, as we witness these developments, it is more important than ever to advocate for diplomacy and peaceful conflict resolution. The escalation of violence only leads to more suffering, and while military technology advances, so should our efforts to prevent such technologies from being used in ways that perpetuate harm. It is clear that we must seek long-term solutions through dialogue, understanding, and compromise, rather than relying on warfare to settle disputes. True peace cannot be achieved by military superiority alone, but by a concerted effort to address the underlying issues that fuel conflict in the first place. Ultimately, the lessons we draw from conflicts like these should reinforce our collective responsibility to work toward a world where diplomacy and peaceful solutions take precedence over the devastation of war. Let us hope that the future sees less destruction, more collaboration, and a greater commitment to preserving human dignity in the face of adversity.